Hi everyone, I'm so excited to be sharing with you today's tutorial. The sleep mask makes a lovely caring gift for your loved ones. So let's get into the list of tools that you'll need. Now obviously you'll need some fabric. I've chosen satin for its soft silkiness. You'll need some padding. This is actually a piece that I cut out from an old mattress protector. I've been able to use this to make several coasters too, like these ones in beautiful Australian Aboriginal designs. Going back to our list, for the strap, you'll need some elastic and a safety pin or a bodkin to flip and thread. You also need a pattern, which I'll show you how to make in a minute, some thread and needle, and your basic sewing tools. And here's how to make the pattern. Now, I have to admit that I did not come up with this. I'm just following instructions from a channel called Morning DIY, and I'll link the video in the description box. And here are the measurements, so feel free to pause the screen or take a screenshot. This next section, I'm just quickly showing you how to create the pattern. Now we can use our pattern to cut our pieces of fabric and wadding. For the wadding, it's not necessary to get it totally accurate because you'll end up trimming parts of it. But for the fabric, you'll need more accuracy, so just take a pen and trace around the pattern. And we're ready to sew. I'm going to start with the strap. And all I'm doing here is create a casing for the elastic. So fold your fabric in half and sew along the length with some seam allowance. So start sewing from the very top and don't forget to backstitch when you start and finish. The thickness of the strap will also depend on the thickness of your elastic. Now use a safety pin or a bodkin to flip the tube. The next step is to thread the elastic through, also using a safety pin or a bodkin. Now for the main part, take one piece of your fabric and put it on top of the wadding with the shiny side facing up. Then sew the straps onto the middle section of the sides like so. Now take the remaining piece of fabric and put it on top with the shiny side facing down this time. Now use some clips to secure everything in place and sew around the edge, leaving a gap of around 2 inches so that you can turn the eye mask out. I'm trying to go slowly as I'm not really used to sewing around curves. Now trim away all your excess thread and padding. Also make tiny cuts around the edges to reduce any bulk. Just be careful not to cut into your thread. Now we can flip our eye mask out. Use the stick to trace around the mask to make sure that everything is pushed out. Now all that's left to do is to sew close this opening using a ladder stitch or invisible stitch. All I'm doing is going up from inside the gap, and I'll keep going across from one side to the other to create stitches. Unfortunately, I went off the camera as I was sewing this section, but if you don't know how to do a ladder stitch, I've explained it in detail in some of my other videos, which I'll link in the description box. This also concludes our tutorial. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please support my channel by liking the video and subscribing to my channel if you haven't done that already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.